Hey folks, welcome to Just the Dis. We usually talk about Blu-rays, 4Ks, etc. But today, we're just doing a general physical media chat. And I've talked about this stuff before. I have some of these videos on the channel about VHS, which is something I still actively collect, as I know a lot of you all do. My reasoning... Some people do it for nostalgia purposes, which there's a little bit of that for me, but a lot of it is about rare films that have not made it to Blu-ray. I think you can look up the number of movies that were made on VHS and you'll see how each successive format, VHS, DVD, Blu-ray, 4K, we're losing movies every time. Some of that you understand why, and there definitely are probably some of those in this stack. But I'm going to talk about a bunch of VHS that I've gotten over the last 6-8 months here. And I'm pretty sure that none of these are available on any other format. Don't quote me there. There might be a couple DVDs in here, movies that are available on DVD. But I think for the most part, these are not available on disc in any format. Now, I recently had a birthday, and I had a private screening. I'm not going to say where, but let's just say it was a local micro cinema, and it was very affordable, and they screened VHS there. And I got to pick a couple movies to screen for this small group of people in this micro cinema, and it was a blast. I will say one of the movies was this, Thief. Okay, now this is, of course, not the Michael Mann film. This is a 1971, I believe, ABC Movie of the Week, and it's only available on VHS. There is a crappy rip on YouTube. That's how I originally saw it, but it took me about 6 months of just eyeing eBay searches and looking around at all kinds of different websites and online sources to try and source this tape, which I never thought would be so hard to find, especially because it was released by Warner Brothers. So I would assume mass-produced. But anyway, this movie stars Richard Crenna, who is you'll remember him as like John Rambo's like commander in First Blood, but an actor that I really like. Richard Crenna, Andy Dickinson, Cameron Mitchell, Robert Webber. And it says, Neil Wilkerson, Richard Crenna, has a successful insurance business, a comfortable home, and a beautiful fiance. Okay, that's not true. That's wrong. Like, she's not his fiance. She's like someone that was doing some interior decorating, and they've started dating for like 3 months. They're not engaged. He also has a police record, a young son living with a court-appointed guardian, and a major gambling debt he can't pay. Only Charlie, Cameron Mitchell, Neil's lawyer and best friend, knows that Neil was once a jewel thief. What Charlie doesn't know is that Neil continues to supplement his income with daytime burglaries. So it's got a great opening bit where he's driving around neighborhoods looking for people who have a lot of mail piled up so he can tell if they're gone or not. And he goes and he sneaks into the backyard. He's got dog biscuits for the dog. He has a screwdriver to break into the door. He wears gloves. He rifles through the jewelry. He knows exactly what to look for. And he goes to this jeweler that is his fence, basically, and gets, $3,000 or whatever. But he... Oh, that's interesting. Crisp direction and strong cast highlight this winner of the Mystery Writers of America Best TV Suspense Drama of the Year. Crenna's portrayal of a quietly desperate man in over his head is brilliant and believable. Totally true, by the way. He's great in this. It's a really great character study. His parole officer is played by Michael Lerner. You have a younger... what's his name from Payday? I'm blanking on it right now. But a really interesting actor from that as well shows up. He's Rip Torn's manager in Payday, another movie that needs a Blu-ray that only has a DVD. Anyway, I really dig this movie a lot, and it played really well with the group that I showed it to, and I was so happy to bring it to them. And it would not be possible if not for VHS. And so we're losing a lot of movies, is I guess what I'm saying. And I'm excited that I have this copy. Like I said, it took me 6 months. It finally showed up on eBay, and I was like, oh yeah, I definitely want to own that. Now, for my birthday, I got some gifts, including these 4 VHS from my friend Kevin Kolsch, actually a little name drop, one of the co-directors of Pet Sematary and Starry Eyes, and got a new movie coming out. He and his wife Lisa were kind enough to get me some deep cuts on VHS. Now, these I've never seen before. We have Nightstick, which I definitely remember, but I'm pretty sure, like I said, Psychopath might be available on DVD, but I don't think any of these others are. Brash, trigger-happy New York cop Calhoun, Bruce Fairburn from Knots Landing, pulls more than punches when he puts his life on the line to nab 3 ruthless extortionists in the suspenseful action thriller Nightstick. Considered a big risk in the line of duty, Calhoun's bravado scores him a few points with immediate supervisor Captain Melton, that's Robert Vaughn, but lands him in a grueling assignment. Told to bring in the unscrupulous Bantam brothers, who have been blowing up banks and their ransom demands aren't met, Calhoun travels through the seedy underbelly of New York in search of his constantly moving targets. After the Bantams plant a string of bombs and kidnap his girlfriend, Robin, Carrie Keene, Calhoun finally corners the murderers for an explosive confrontation as the time bombs are ticking. I've always loved these RCA Columbia boxes, you know, that red circle, and I've seen this imitated on some Blu-rays. But yeah, Robert Vaughn here, John Vernon, Leslie Nielsen as Evans. Yeah, very curious about this one. I think it might be a direct-to-video release. I don't know, but very curious about Nightstick. Then we have Glitz, starring Jimmy Smits and Marky Post. Marky Post, of course, from Night Court, and Jimmy Smits from LA Law. This one's intriguing because it's based on Glitz, the novel by Elmore Leonard, and it's directed by Sandor Stern, who, if you don't know that name, directed a movie called Pin, which is a really great cult movie that I've talked about. I picked up a German media book Blu-ray of. That's the only available Blu-ray that I know of. From crime writer Elmore Leonard's bestseller and right on target. Popular LA Law star Jimmy Smits puts aside his law books and puts on a badge in Glitz, a hard-hitting police thriller set in the exotic Puerto Rico and glittery Atlantic City locales. Glitz dazzles with low-living high rollers, muzzle-hot excitement, street-smart dialogue, and it should, because it's based on the novel by the author who knows crime like a book, #1 crime writer Elmore Leonard. Now Glitz joins 52 Pickup Stick, Mr. Majestic, and other hard-hitting Leonard works. I guess this must have come out before. Yeah, this is from 88, this tape. 90. Before Jackie Brown, obviously that's another Elmore Leonard adaptation, as is Out of Sight. Night Court's Marky Post teams with Smits to make Glitz shine even more. He's a cop on vendetta after his girl mysteriously falls from a penthouse window. She's his gutsy lounge singer confidant. And John Deal, Miami Vice, plays a prowling punk so scummy you'll automatically check your wallet. In this town, penthouse divers must be as common as pinky rings, Vince snarls, but nothing is common when you're faced with all the danger and turmoil of Glitz. I don't know. Yeah, another Warner tape I never saw in the flesh, like that I can recall at any video store. So that looks fun. Then we have Psychopath. This is one that looks like it might be on, this is maybe on DVD, but I haven't looked. Attorney Rachel McGuire, Madchen Amick, is tracking a serial killer whose victims include a female law student and her former roommate. But someone has future plans for the killer, and he will do anything to ensure his freedom. Only Rachel, her intimate knowledge of the killer's crimes, can decipher the web of deceit. But first, she must set the trap, and she's game if they don't get to her first. So you've got Madchen Amick, Bruce Dinsmore, Chris Mulkey on the cover there. You definitely know Chris Mulkey. That's a face you can definitely remember. Yeah, I don't recognize anybody else in this. And directed by Max Fisher. Not that Max Fisher, I would imagine. But yeah, I'm very curious about this one. When you set a trap for a killer, make sure there are no exits. Psychopath. Avalanche VHS, 1999. Very curious stuff. And then this one, Vestron Video, folks. Sign of quality, Off the Wall. This looks like some kind of Smokey and the Bandit-y Southern something. Hot Dogs Inc. presents a Rick Friedberg film starring Paul Sorvino, Patrick Cassidy, Rosanna Arquette, Bill Huffsey, featuring Mickey Gilley. Produced by Frank Mancuso Jr. Didn't he do the Friday the 13th? No one ever escapes from Snake Canyon Prison. No one ever had a reason to until now. The stunning Rosanna Arquette stars in this wacky prison spoof about a wealthy, naive young camper who decides to sneak away from summer camp and go in search of every teenager's dream, a summer full of wild adventure and risque romance. Okay, I wouldn't have gotten that from that cover, folks. Randy Whitby is determined to make his summer one of adolescent exploration. Whoops. A little slip there. Hitchhiking alone, Randy soon meets up with Rico Santiago, a streetwise veteran hitchhiker who gets them a ride with a sexy speed demon whose driving soon attracts the attention of the police. After a perilous chase and a devastating crash, the girl gets away. The boys are left to face a Southern-style kangaroo court that sentences them to 6 months at the maximum security Snake County Prison. Okay, that makes more sense. It sounds like, one of those, Jackson County Jail kind of things, but maybe a comedy. Snake County Prison is Randy and Rico's worst nightmare come true, with pistol-packing paranoid warden dressed as the Grim Reaper and a cellmate who only has to escape one more time to make the Guinness Book of World Records. Amidst this chaos, the two boys must try to keep their sanity while fending off advances of two less than macho wrestling champions. It's not quite the kind of summer Randy had in mind until the day of their planned escape. Then they really go off the wall. I do like a good Vestron tape, and I do remember kind of seeing this cover at some point. But I mean, I just love that artwork, guys climbing, and I don't know, just looks interesting. Again, big thanks to Kevin and Lisa for those. Picked this one up at Whammy Analog Media, which is real close to my place. It's in Silver Lake-ish. Wonderful VHS shop off of Sunset Boulevard, that I can't recommend enough. This is a pretty rare one and was not cheap. It's called Night After Night After Night, and it is from Lindsay Shantef, who is a director that Quentin Tarantino has been obsessed with in recent years, being a big fan of his films. Let's see here. Was it Fast Kill? No, that wasn't the one. Oh my goodness, there's so many of these, I forget which one is the one. Let's see here. Oh yeah, Number One of the Secret Service was one of them. There was a couple others that Quentin was a big fan of. Was it Million Eyes of Sumeru? Yeah, I can't remember the other one that he's into. There was definitely another Lindsay Shantef movie that he's a fan of. So anyway, I was intrigued by that, and this one is The Ripper is Waiting. There's a killer on the loose in London, and whilst our typically craggy copper D.I. Rowan investigates, Judge Lomax is busy in court dishing out harsh sentences to everyone that comes before him. So it's kind of a Jack the Ripper thing. Just reading Jeremy Milks, one of my Letterboxd follows. British sleaze from this era is a goldmine of weird, repressed moral tales that are unintentionally funny. There's always a copper who bursts into a dingy flat with a naked woman postered all over the walls, and he can barely breathe because he's so appalled. An American movie cop would just light a smoke. The last half hour of this movie is incredibly campy and hilarious. Zoom-ins making a good double bill with Don't Open Until Christmas or even a Carry On movie. Hello, darling. Intriguing. Yeah, so anyway, it's a rare one. I know it's not streaming, really. It's not on VHS. And, it's not on DVD or anything. And it's one of these, like, VEC tapes. Like, these are pretty rare. Like, these didn't. So anyway, I'm going to have to check that out. This one I did watch. This is another only on VHS that I know of called Past Tense. It's a 90s thriller, 94, I think, with Scott Glenn, Lara Flynn Boyle, and Anthony LaPaglia. And Scott Glenn is a cop. He's got a new neighbor played by Lara Flynn Boyle, who he's kind of obsessed with and horny about. And she is killed, and it looks like maybe he blacked out and did it, but then it's one of those movies that's incredibly fragmented, and he keeps having these dreams. One of that he's at like some kind of excavation, like mine or something like that, and he keeps getting buried by sand, and so it's bizarre. That it's so weird that he keeps waking up and it's like, oh, she's not dead. Oh, his neighbor's not her anymore. It's a new neighbor. It's a year later. He's like unstuck in time, and it's intriguing, but I guess I just kind of didn't fully connect with it. But I kind of want to watch it again because it is so, I don't know, intriguing. But yeah, definitely an only on video kind of movie, and one that from the producer of The Fugitive and Platoon, apparently. So there's that. This is, where did I get this? I think I got this on a VHS lot, or there's like some good VHS collector groups online I've talked about. I got it as part of a lot, but it looks older than it is. Although when I look at this picture of Oliver Reed, like I was like, oh, that's like a 70s movie. It's called The Black Arrow, or Black Arrow. It's a Disney home ent clamshell, which I love, and I saw a ton of when I was a kid at the local video store. But it stars Oliver Reed, Fernando Rey, Benedict Taylor, Stephen Chase, Georgia Slow, special guest appearance by Donald Pleasance as Oates. But this one, I want to say it's from like the 80s, like 87 or something, later than you think, right? And 84? All right, anyway. Acclaimed actor Oliver Reed heads a celebrated cast in this film adaptation of Robert Louis Stevenson's swashbuckling tale. In the 15th century England, Sir Daniel Brackley, that's Oliver Reed, wealthy and corrupt, is angered to discover that he has been robbed by Black Arrow, a feared outlaw. Brackley's retaliation is swift and shrewd. He can become the largest landowner in the country by marrying his beautiful young ward, Lady Joanna, Georgia Slow, and sending his young nephew, Richard Shelton, Benedict Taylor, off on a dangerous mission that will result in a fatal encounter with the dreaded Black Arrow. Young Shelton's journey ends in dramatic confrontation with the outlaw, but an unexpected partnership is formed that will attempt to rescue Joanna and bring Brackley's evil reign to an end. So anyway, I don't know. I've always been a fan of these. I even like the VHS stickers on these boxes. I haven't had a chance to watch that yet, but I'm definitely intrigued by it. Next up, Reflections of Murder. Now this is cool. This stars Tuesday Weld, Joan Hackett, Sam Waterston, written by Carol Sobieski, directed by John Badham, who would go on to do Blue Thunder and all kinds of fun stuff. This is one of his TV movies from the 70s, 74, I think. And as I understand it, it's kind of a remake of Diabolique. The wife and mistress of an abusive man do away with him, only to find his legacy more frightening than his tyranny. An intricate and ingenious scheme of murder seems foolproof. The victim is lured to a supposed celebration where he meets with a horrible accident, in quotes. Thus begins a gripping nightmare of unseen terrors and unexpected twists, leading to a suspenseful and shocking climax. Compelling from start to surprise finish, the contemporary thriller is from the director of War Games and Blue Thunder. Republic Pictures Home Video. It's not too expensive, if I recall. But yeah, another one that I like. John Badham. I like that he has this TV movie work, and I think this is one that was on. If you follow Amanda Reyes on Blue Sky, this whole year, I didn't even realize it was the whole year. She's been doing this thing where every day she recommends a TV movie that's not on Blu-ray. I don't know if they are on DVD. But she's on like 245 or something, and I've gotten some great recommendations. She is the master of all things TV movie. I think this was in one of her recommendations at some point, and I went to watch it on YouTube, and it looked like crap. And so I tracked down this VHS. But yeah, Tuesday Weld, Joan Hackett, and Sam Waterston. So a really cool cast. And yeah, very interested in that one. A few other like throwaway horrors that I got that may not be good. I don't know. Distortions. This one stars Olivia Hussey, Steve Railsback, and Piper Laurie. Dive headfirst into a murky pool of love, lust, and murder. Distortions is a sizzling, sexy, and very surprising tale of double, triple, and quadruple crosses that will push you to the edge of your seat and keep you there. And the newlywed Amy Marks, Olivia Hussey, loses her husband Jason, Edward Albert, in a mysterious accident. She almost loses her mind from grief. She begins to see his face, hear his voice, imagine that he is still with her. Only a shattering climax of terrifying suspense will unmask the truth, because appearances are not only deceiving, they're deadly. So, I don't know, Railsback is in this. I kind of just like the idea of a sexy thriller with Railsback. Anyway, that one sounds intriguing too. Formula for a Murder. I think I saw this recommended from one of the podcasts I listened to. I'm blanking on which one. Unsung Horrors, maybe? David Warbeck stars in this mystery thriller about a plan of deception that turns into murder. Joanna West is a beautiful 22-year-old woman who at the age of 12 was brutally raped and thrown down the stairs by a man dressed as a priest. As a result of the attack, Joanna is paralyzed physically and mentally. It isn't until her father dies, leaving her millions, that her life drastically changes. She meets and marries Craig, a handsome athletic instructor, but after only a few days, Joanna sees a mysterious priest holding a bloody doll, and she faints. Her hidden past soon appears, and Joanna is faced with the alarming realization that someone wants her dead. Formula for a Murder, terrifying medicine. So yeah, this is a Lightning Video VHS. Always a sign of quality. Another one that may be on YouTube but looked like crap, and I wanted to pick up a nice VHS copy of it. So I'm curious about that. And then lastly, we have this one called Overexposed. Her face peers from newsstands and checkout counters. Her fan mail pours in daily. Everyone knows her phenomenally popular daytime TV star, Kristen Halsey, and so does a killer. Now the killer is closing in. Kristen receives bizarre notes, finds grotesquely disfigured body of a coworker in her closet, and discovers a mutilated picture of herself attached to her front door. The events take their toll, plunging Kristen into nerve-shattering dread and reviving memories of a childhood tragedy that may provide a clue to the murderer's identity. A gorgeous Catherine Oxenberg, who apparently is from Dynasty and Lair of the White Worm, plays Kristen in this tense central thriller set in the hectic world of daily TV production. An uptight boyfriend, David Naughton, who I'm a big fan of, a ranting fan, Karen Black, and a handsome secret admirer, William Bumler, who unlocks Kristen's passions among the suspects. But danger can come from anywhere when you're beautiful, famous, and overexposed. Directed by Larry Bland, produced by Roger Corman. This is a Concord VHS MGM tape. So yeah, kind of curious about it. A sexy drama comedy? That's an interesting review. Anyway, that'll do it for this round of VHS only stuff I've gotten recently. As movie fans, I kind of hope... Oh, wait, actually, I got one more. This one I've been meaning to watch too. It's not really in line with October, but it's called Mad About You. It's like an 80s sexy thing with Claudia Christian from The Hidden, and she played Bill's mom in Freaks and Geeks. I'm a big fan of her, and it's just one of those 80s comedies that I haven't seen. This is a Academy Entertainment tape with Adam West. Okay. Millionaire Edward Harris, Adam West had it all: an industrial empire, social status, and Casey, a gorgeous daughter primed for marriage to any man she desired. Would it be the pro quarterback, the Ivy League rich kid, or the handsome part-time rock musician, Joey? As Dad feverishly pushes her in the direction of the wealthy, uptight Ivy Leaguer, Casey's uninhibited excess pushes her onto the front pages of the tabloids. and then into the arms of Joey, where the rock and roll fireworks really begin. I do find the back of this kind of amusing because it's obviously very 80s, but you can't really see it. But Adam West is is holding up a picture of he's holding up a book that says how to manipulate your children without them knowing, or something like that. So anyway, I do like a good 80s sex comedy that I haven't seen, and this one looks pretty rare. So anyway, that's it for my VHS group for this round. Thank you for indulging me. I know you guys like, plastic disc media, but let me tell you, cheap VCR is a good investment if you're a big movie fan, because there's a ton of stuff still as yet unavailable and or available in crappy versions on YouTube. As I've said before, I just got annoyed with the over-pixelated VHS transfers on YouTube. Sometimes you can get a good one, sometimes it works out, but a lot of times I was watching stuff where I couldn't even really see it, and I was like, you know what, I just need to invest, and it's been fun. I really do enjoy it, and there's easy ways to get adapters for HDMI adapters for VHS that go from the RCA to HDMI, and it up converts the picture, and VHS is only going to look so good, but it still does a nice job and makes it very watchable on your big screen TV, so worth a try. Anyway, again, thank you so much, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.